Issues in ad hoc wireless networks. The major issues that affect the design, deployment, and performance of an ad hoc wireless system are medium access scheme, routing, multicasting, transport layer protocol, pricing scheme, quality of service provisioning, self-organization, security, energy management, addressing and service discovery, scalability, and finally deployment consideration. Medium access scheme. The primary responsibility of a medium access control protocol is ad hoc wireless network is the distributed attribution for the shared channel for transmission of packet. The major issues to be considered in designing a MAC protocol for ad hoc wireless network are as following. Distributed operation. The ad hoc wireless networks need to operate in environments where no centralized coordination is possible. The MAC protocol design should be fully distributed, involving minimum control overhead. In case of polling-based MAC protocol, partial coordination is required. Synchronization. The MAC protocol design should take into account the requirement of time synchronization. Synchronization is mandatory for TDMA-based system for management of transmission and reception slots. Synchronization involves usage of scarce resources such as bandwidth and battery power. The control packets used for synchronization can also increase collision in the network. Next is hidden terminal. Hidden terminal are the nodes that are hidden from the center of a data transmission session but are reachable to the receiver of the session. In such cases, the hidden terminal can cause collision at the receiver end. The presence of hidden terminal can significantly reduce the throughput of a MAC protocol used in ad hoc wireless network. Hence, MAC protocol should be able to alleviate the effects of hidden terminal. The fourth is the exposed terminal. Exposed terminal, the nodes that are in the transmission range of a sender of an ongoing session are prevented from making a transmission. In order to improve the efficiency of the MAC protocol, the exposed nodes should be allowed to transmit in a controlled fashion without causing collision to the ongoing data transfer. Fifth is the throughput. The MAC protocol employed in ad hoc wireless network should attempt to maximize the throughput of the system. The important consideration for throughput enhancement are minimizing the occurrence of collision, maximizing channel utilization, and minimizing control overhead. Access delay. The access delay refers to the average delay that any packet experiences to get transmitted. The MAC protocol should attempt to minimize the delay. Fairness. Fairness refers to the ability of MAC protocol to provide an equal share of weighted share of the bandwidth to all competing nodes. Fairness can be either node-based or flow-based. The former attempts to provide an equal bandwidth share of competing nodes, whereas the latter provides an equal share of competing data transfer session. In ad hoc wireless network, fairness is important due to the multi-hop relaying done by the nodes. An unfair relaying load for a node results in draining the resources of that node much faster than of the other nodes. Real-time traffic transport. In a contention-based channel access environment without any central coordination, with limited bandwidth and with local dependent contention, supporting time-sensitive traffic such as voice, video, and real-time data requires explicit support from the MAC protocol. Resource reservation. The provisioning of queues defined by parameters such as bandwidth, delay, and jitter requires reservation of resources such as bandwidth, buffer space, and processing power. The inherent mobility of nodes in ad hoc wireless network makes such reservation of resources a difficult task. A MAC protocol should be able to provide mechanism for supporting resource reservation and QoS provisioning. Ability to measure resource availability. In order to handle the resources such as bandwidth efficiently and perform call admission control based on their availability, the MAC protocol should be able to provide an estimation of resource availability at every node. This can be used for making congestion control decisions. Capability for power control. The transmission power control reduces the energy consumption at the node, causing a decrease in interference at neighboring nodes and increase in frequency reuse. Support for power control at MAC layer is very important in the ad hoc wireless network. Adaptive rate control. This refers to the variation in the data bit achieved over a channel. A MAC protocol that has adaptive rate control can make use of high data rate when the sender and receiver are nearby and adaptively reduce the data rate as they move away from each other. The last is use of directional antennas. This has many advantages that includes increased spectrum reuse, reduction in interference, and reduced power consumption. Most of the existing MAC protocols that use omnidirectional antennas do not work with directional antennas. The second issue is routing. The responsibilities of a routing protocol include exchanging the route information, finding feasible path to the destination based on criteria such as hop length, minimum power required, and lifetime of the wireless link, gathering information about the path breaks, mending the broken path, expanding minimum process power and bandwidth, and utilizing minimum bandwidth. The major challenges that a routing protocol faces are: first, mobility. One of the most important properties of ad hoc wireless network is the mobility associated with the nodes. Mobility of a node results in frequent path break, packet collision, transit loops, slate routing information, and difficulty in resource reservation. A good routing protocol should be able to efficiently solve all the above issues. Bandwidth constraint. Since the channel is shared by all the nodes in the broadcast region, the bandwidth available per wireless link depends on the number of nodes and traffic they handle. Thus, only a fraction of total bandwidth is available for every node. Error-prone and shared channel. The bitrate error in the wireless channel is very high compared to that in the wired counterparts. Routing protocol designed for ad hoc wireless network should take this into account. Consideration of the state of the wireless link, signal-to-noise ratio, and path loss of routing in ad hoc wireless network can improve the efficiency of routing protocol. Location-dependent contention. The load on the wireless channel varies with number of nodes present in a given geographical region. This makes the contention for a channel high when the number of nodes increases. The high contention of the channel results in number of collision and subsequent wastage of bandwidth. A good routing protocol should have built-in mechanism for distributing the network load uniformly across the network so that the information of region where channel contention is high can be avoided. Other resource constraints. The constraint on resources such as computing power, battery power, and buffer storage also limit the capability of routing protocol. The major requirements of a routing protocol in ad hoc wireless network are the following. We start off with minimum route acquisition delay. The route acquisition delay for a node that does not have a route to a particular destination should be minimal as possible. This delay may vary with the size of network and network load. Quick route reconfiguration. The unpredictable changes in the topology of a network require that the routing protocol be able to quickly perform route reconfiguration in order to handle path breaks and subsequent packet losses. Loop-free routing. This is a fundamental requirement of any routing protocol to avoid unnecessary wastage of network bandwidth in ad hoc wireless network. Due to the random movements of nodes, transient loop may form in the route thus established. A routing protocol should detect such transient routing loops and take corrective action. Distributed routing approach. An ad hoc wireless network is fully distributed wireless network, and the use of centralized routing approaches in such a network may consume a large amount of bandwidth. Minimum control overhead. The control packet exchange for finding a new route and maintaining existing routes should be kept as minimal as possible. Scalability. Scalability is the availability of the routing protocol to scale well in the network with a large number of nodes. This requires minimization of control overhead and adaptation of routing control protocol to the network size. Proficiency of QoS. The routing protocol should be able to provide a certain level of QoS as demanded by the nodes. The QoS parameters can be bandwidth, delay, jitter, packet delivery ratio, and throughput. Supporting differentiated classes of service may be of importance in tactical operation. Support of time-sensitive traffic. Tactical communication and similar application require support for time-sensitive traffic. The routing protocol should be able to support both hard real-time and soft real-time traffic. The last is the security and privacy. The routing protocol in ad hoc wireless network must be resilient to threats and vulnerabilities. It must have inbuilt capability to avoid resource consumption, denial of service, impersonation, and similar attack possible against an wireless ad hoc network. The third issue considered is multicasting. Multicasting plays a vital role in the typical application of ad hoc wireless network, namely emergency, search and rescue operation, and military communication. In such environment, nodes from group to carry out certain tasks that require point-to-multipoint and multipoint-to-multipoint voice and data communication. The mesh-based multicast routing structure may work well in high mobility environment. The major issues in designing multicast routing protocols are robustness, efficiency, control overhead, quality of service, efficient group management, scalability, and security. Robustness. The multicast routing protocol must be able to recover and reconfigure quickly from potential mobility-induced link breaks, thus making it suitable for use in high dynamic environments. Efficiency. A multicast protocol should make a minimum number of transmissions to deliver a data packet to all the group members. Control overhead. The scarce bandwidth availability in ad hoc wireless network demands minimal control overhead for multicast session. Quality of service. Quality of service support is essential in multicasting routing because in most cases the data transferred in multicast session is time sensitive. Efficient group management. Group management refers to the processing of accepting multicast session members and maintaining the connectivity among them until the session expires. This process of group management needs to be performed with minimal exchange of control messages. Scalability. The multicast routing protocol should be able to scale for a network with a large number of nodes. And last is the security. Authentication of session members and prevention of non-members from gaining unauthorized information play a major role in military communication. Fourth issue is the transport layer protocol. The main objective of the transport layer protocols include setting up and maintaining end-to-end communication, reliable end-to-end delivery of data packet, flow control, and congestion control. There exists simple connectionless transport layer protocol which either perform flow control and congestion control nor provide reliable data transfer. Fifth is pricing scheme. This is again an issue. An ad hoc wireless network's functioning depends on the presence of relaying nodes and their willingness to relay on nodes traffic. Even if the node's density is sufficient enough to ensure a fully connected network, a relaying neighbor node may not be interested in relaying a call and may just decide to power down. Assume that an optimal route from node A to node B passes through node C and node C is not powered on. Then the node A will have to set up a costlier non-optimal route to B. The non-optimal path consumes more resources and affects the throughput of the system. As the intermediate node in a path that relay the data packet expend their resources, such as battery charge and computing power, they should be properly compensated. Hence, pricing scheme that incorporates service compensation or service reimbursement are required. Ad hoc wireless network employed for such special tasks such as military mission, rescue operation, and law enforcement do not require such pricing scheme, whereas the successful commercial deployment of ad hoc wireless network requires billing and pricing. The two obvious solution to provide participation guarantee is to provide incentives to forwarding nodes. Next issue is the quality of service provisioning. Quality of service is the performance level of service offered by a service provider or a network to the user. QoS provisioning often requires negotiation between the host and the network, resource reservation scheme, priority scheduling, and call admission control. A brief discussion of QoS parameter, QoS aware routing, and QoS framework in ad hoc network is provided. First, let's see what is QoS parameters are. As different applications have different requirements, their level of QoS and the associated QoS parameters also differ from application to application. QoS aware routing. The first step towards a QoS aware routing is to have the routing use QoS parameter for finding a path. The parameter that can be considered for routing decision are network throughput, packet delivery ratio, reliability, delay jitter, packet loss rate, bit error rate, and path loss. QoS framework. A framework for QoS is a complete system that attempts to provide the promised service to each user or application. These components within the subsystem should cooperate in providing the required services. The key component of QoS framework is a QoS service model, which defines the way user requirements are served. The seventh issue is the self-organization. One very important property that an ad hoc wireless network should exhibit is organizing and maintaining the network by itself. The major activities that an ad hoc wireless network is required to perform for such organization are neighbor discovery, topology organization, and topology reorganization. During the neighbor discovery phase, every node in the network gathers information about its neighbor and maintains that information in appropriate data structures. Eighth issue is the security. The security of communication in ad hoc wireless network is very important, especially in military application. The lack of any central coordination and shared wireless medium makes them more vulnerable to attack than wired network. Nodes that perform internal attacks are compromised node. Some of the major security threats that exist in ad hoc wireless network are denial of service, resource consumption, energy depletion, buffer overflow, host impersonation, information disclosure, interference. Let's see one by one. Denial of service. The attack affected by making the network resource unavailable for service to other nodes, either by consuming the bandwidth or by overloading the system, is called denial of service, DOS. Resource consumption. The scarce availability of resources in ad hoc wireless network makes it an easy target for internal attacks, particularly aiming at consuming resources available in network. The major types of resources consumption attacks are the following. Energy depletion. Since the node in ad hoc wireless network are highly constrained by the energy source, this type of attack is basically aimed at depleting the battery power of critical nodes by directing unnecessary traffic to them. Buffer overflow. The buffer overflow attack is carried out either by filling the routing table with unwanted routing entries or by consuming the data packet buffer space with unwanted data. Such attacks can lead to a large number of data packets being dropped, leading to the loss of critical information. Host impersonation. A compromised internal node can act as another node and respond with appropriate control packets to create wrong route entries and can terminate the traffic meant for intended destination node. Information disclosure. A compromised node can act as an informer by deliberate disclosure of confidential information to unauthorized nodes. Interference. A common attack in defense application is to jam the wireless communication by creating a wide spectrum noise. This can be done by using a single wide jammer sweeping across the spectrum. The MAC and the physical layer technologies should be able to handle such external threats. Ninth issue is the addressing and service discovery. Addressing and service discovery assumes significance in ad hoc wireless network due to the absence of any centralized coordinator. An address that is globally unique in the connected part of the ad hoc wireless network is required for a node in order to participate in communication. Auto configuration of address is required to allocate non-duplicate addresses to the nodes. The 10th issue is the energy management. Energy management is defined as the process of managing the sources and consumers of energy in a node or in a network as a whole for enhancing the lifetime of the network, shaping the energy discharge pattern of a node's battery to enhance the battery lifetime, finding routes that results in minimum total energy consumption in the network, using distributed scheduling scheme to improve battery life and handling the process and interface devices to minimize power consumption are some of the functions of energy management. Energy management are classified into the following groups: transmission power management, battery energy management, processor power management, device power management. First, transmission power management. The power consumed by the radio frequency module of a mobile node is determined by several factors such as the state of operation, the transmission power, and the technology used for RF circuitry. The state of operation refers to the transmit and receiving and sleep mode of the operation. The transmission power is determined by the reachability requirement of the network, the routing protocol, and the MAC protocol employed. Next is the battery management. The battery management is aimed at extending the battery life of a node by taking advantage of its chemical properties, discharge pattern, and by selection of a battery from a set of batteries that is available for redundancy. Processor power management. The clock speed and the number of instructions executed per unit time are some of the processor parameters that affect power consumption. The CPU can put into different power saving modes during low processing load conditions. The last is devices power management. Intelligent devices management can reduce power consumption of a mobile node significantly. This can be done by the operating system by selectively empowering down interface devices that are not used or by putting devices into different power saving mode depending on their usage. The 11th issue is the scalability. Even though the number of nodes in an ad hoc wireless network does not grow in the same magnitude as today's internet, the operation of a large number of nodes in ad hoc mode is not far away. The traditional applications such as a military emergency operation and crowd control may not lead to such a big ad hoc network. Commercial deployments of ad hoc wireless network that include wireless mesh network show early trends for a widespread installation of ad hoc wireless network for mainstream wireless communication. The 11th issue is deployment consideration. The deployment of ad hoc network involves action different from those of wired network. It requires a good amount of planning and estimation of future traffic growth over every link in the network. The time-consuming planning stage is followed by actual deployment of the network. The cost and the time required for laying copper cables or fiber cables make it difficult to reconfigure any partial deployment that has already been done. The deployment of a commercial ad hoc wireless network has the following benefits when compared to wired networks. The first is low cost of deployment. The use of multi-hop wireless relaying essentially eliminates the requirement of laying cables and maintenance and commercial deployment of communication infrastructure. Hence, the cost involved is much lower than of the wired network. Second is the incremental deployment. In commercial wireless WANs based on ad hoc wireless network, deployment can be performed incrementally over geographical regions of the city. The deployed part of the network starts functioning immediately after the minimum configuration is done. For example, during deployment process of covering a highway, whenever each radio relaying equipment is installed or on the highway, it can be commissioned. Short deployment time. Compared to wired network, the deployment time is considerably less due to the absence of any wired link. Also, wiring a dense urban region is extremely difficult and time-consuming in addition to inconvenience cost. Reconfigurability. The cost involved in reconfiguring a wired network covering metropolitan area network is very high compared to that of an ad hoc wireless network covering the same service area. Also, the incremental deployment of ad hoc wireless network might demand changes in the topology of a fixed path of the network at a later stage. The last is scenario of deployment. The scenario of deployment assumes significance because the capability required for a mobile node varies with the environment in which it is used. The following are some of the different scenarios in which the deployment issues vary widely. First is the military deployment. The military deployment of an ad hoc wireless network may be data-centric or user-centric. The data-centric networks handle a different part of data traffic and can be partially comprised of static nodes, whereas the user-centric network consists of highly mobile nodes with or without any support from any infrastructure. Emergency operation deployment. This kind of application scenario demands a quick deployment of rescue personnel equipped with handheld communication equipment. Essentially, the network should provide support for time-sensitive traffic such as voice and video. Commercial wide area deployment. One example of this deployment scenario is the wireless mesh network. The aim of the deployment is to provide an alternative communication infrastructure for wireless communication in urban areas and areas where a traditional cellular base station cannot handle the traffic volume. Home network deployment. The deployment of a home network needs to consider the limited range of the devices that are to be connected by the network. Given the short transmission range of a few meters, it is essential to provide network partitions. Required longevity of network. The deployment of ad hoc wireless network should be considered the required longevity of the network. If the network is required for a short while, battery-powered mobile nodes can be used. When the connectivity is required for a long duration of time, fixed radio relay equipment with regenerative power sources can be deployed. Area of coverage. In most cases, the area of coverage of an ad hoc wireless network is determined by the nature of application for which the network is set up. For example, the home area network is limited to the surrounding of a home. Service availability. The availability of the network service is defined as the ability of an ad hoc network to provide service even with the failure of certain node. Availability assumes significance both in fully mobile ad hoc wireless network used for tactical communication and in partially fixed ad hoc wireless network used in commercial communication infrastructure such as the wireless mesh networks. Operational integration with other infrastructure. Operational integration of ad hoc wireless network with other infrastructures can be considered for improving the performances or gathering additional information or for providing better QoS. In the military environment, integration of ad hoc wireless networks with satellite network or unmanned aerial vehicle improves the capability of the ad hoc wireless network. Last deployment consideration is choice of protocols. The choice of protocols are different layers of protocol stack is to be done taking into consideration the deployment scenario. A time division multiple access based and insecure MAC protocol may not be the best suited compared to the CDMA based MAC protocol for a military application. The MAC protocol should ensure provisioning of security at the link level. At the network level, the routing protocol can be selected with care. A routing protocol that uses geographical information may not work well in situations where such information is not available. So these are some of the different scenarios in which deployment issues vary widely.